Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Decided to get out the gaff today and take you guys to the absolutely gorgeous Chelsea beach. The sun is setting in approximately 30 minutes and I thought it would be a nice time to get out the house, get down here, carry on the feel-good vibes that we've currently got here on the George Benson football channel. Things are looking good for Chelsea. We're unbeaten under Thomas Tuchel. The news is starting to filter through now. I can't even speak properly. The news is starting to filter through now for the summer in terms of developments with Chelsea, Marina, Tuchel, all linking up together in order to make sure that Chelsea get their targets this summer. And a lot of reports are now coming out about interest in this player, interest in that player, why we might be able to tempt this player. And then of course there are a couple of other nice feel-good stories as well coming from Thiago Silva's wife that we'll get into a little bit later. But if you're not yet subscribed to GBFC, I'd love to ask you to do so. And also hit the like button on today's video if you want to support me. Speaking of supporting me, I want to say a massive thank you, first of all, to everybody who signed up for GBFC Selects. We had over 1,000 people enter the game against Liverpool, which was amazing. And there were two winners splitting the £1,000, both winning 500 each. Congratulations to you guys. If you do want to go and enter for a chance to win for free, £1,000 for the game against Everton on Monday night. Link is in the description, 18 plus, remember to gamble responsibly. It's free to play, all you gotta do is answer a load of questions and you might win £1,000. Without any further ado, we're gonna move into story number one. But first of all, I don't mean to be that guy just rubbing it in, but it's bloody beautiful. I'm getting excited here about the waves behind the camera. But anyway, story number one, I'm not gonna focus on it for too long because I've already said that I think it is an absolute no-brainer that AC Milan go and try and action the option to buy for Fikayo Tomori in the summer. It's looking likely now, game by game, that AC Milan will, in fact, be making that Tomori deal permanent. It's been reported by Gazzetta Italia in recent days that it is looking more likely now that Tomori will be an AC Milan player permanently from the beginning of next season. The next story comes from a German news outlet, but it was reported by Simon Phillips in the UK regarding Chelsea's interest in centre-back Niklas Süle, who's currently at Bayern Munich. We know he's a pretty big lad. You know, pretty much all of the Bayern players have been on the flipping, I'm not going to say they've been on the roids because that would be an absolute lie. They've been in the gym lifting a few weights recently in the past couple seasons, hence probably why they're doing so good. Niklas Süle, big defender, he's a good player, but at the moment, you know, it's weird sitting here talking about Chelsea buying new centre-backs when Thiago Silva's about to extend his new contract. Andreas Christensen is pretty much Maldini reincarnated. Rudiger's turned into flipping Alessandro Nesta as well. Like we've got some brilliant defenders at the club right now. But I do want to say this because I've been talking a lot about how impressed I've been with both Christensen, Rudiger in recent weeks, and obviously you guys know I've been very impressed with Thiago Silva all season until he got that injury. At the moment, it is very much a form-based thing. You know, we've not seen both Rudiger and Christensen perform at this level or anywhere near a consistent length of time for me to not sit here on GBFC and say that we probably still do need to go out and spend some money on another centre-back this summer. I think it'd be foolish of me to jump the gun so soon and say, you know what, like after a couple of really good performances since Tuchel took over, we don't even need to address the centre-half position because both Christensen and Rudiger can certainly do it. I believe that the form that we're seeing right now could be a catalyst for a recovery in both of their Chelsea careers, and I really do hope that. But at the same time, it sounded like I was doing Jan's intro then. At the same time, I think Chelsea will be certainly in the market for another centre-back this summer, particularly. At the moment, it doesn't look as though Zuma is heavily going to be part of Thomas Tuchel's plans. So, you know, maybe, we're not too sure because we were only 10 games into the Tuchel era. If there was an injury coming to either Christensen or Rudiger, touch wood it doesn't happen, then I'm sure Kurt Zuma would come in and do a decent job. But Chelsea are linked to Niklas Süle. It's one that I've heard a little bit over the past month or so. I will be sure to update you guys more on GBFC as and if this story develops. We move into an absolutely gorgeous story that comes from the wife of Thiago Silva. I don't know if you guys follow Thiago Silva and his wife on Instagram, but I just so happen to do so because I flipping love the geezer And his wife is brilliant. She drops a load of just absolute bombs over on Instagram. And I'm going to get my phone up here to make sure that I quote this correctly. That was a bloody dreadful angle of the Benson face there. So this is exactly what she said. Chelsea are the best club in the world. I love them. We will be champions next year. From Thiago Silva's wife, Belle. I absolutely love that. I mean, if that isn't a little clue as to Thiago Silva's going to be signing a contract extension to stay at Chelsea again next season, then I don't know what is. I think it's a lovely little comment, and it's one of those where I wouldn't normally talk about it in a news video, but because we went to Anfield and won this week, if you didn't bloody know, I'm on a high, Chelsea fans are on a high, and it looks as though the wives of the players, even if they're not even playing because they're injured, it looks as though they are on a little bit of a high as well. So I thought I would ride the wave, if you see what I did there. I'm a cringe. But we move into yet another Chelsea news story, and it comes again from Simon Phillips. Big shout out to Simon Phillips for always reporting well on Chelsea Football Club on Twitter. And it comes from a man who I did once film a video with Adidas, Oscar, the Brazilian. He's in China and he's talking about Chelsea. You know, ever since he left Chelsea, I think it's always been one of those where the facts are Oscar left for the money, but realistically, as a footballer, I think he absolutely loved his time at Chelsea, and he knows that his career kind of never really hit the heights that it could have done if he'd have stayed at the top level in European football. However, that being said, I always thought Oscar was a brilliant player. We particularly remember those two stunners that he scored in that one game against Juventus, against Gianluigi Buffon. I think I remember him scoring a wonder goal against Norwich as well. I thought Oscar was a brilliant footballer. But cut to the chase as to why we're talking about Oscar today. Quote again, "If I have a chance to finish my career at Chelsea, it's a dream for me." Of course, Chelsea don't like to buy too many older players, which is normal because it's a top team from Europe, but I will try my best to be fit to finish there. I think this one is, again, kind of one of those romanticised, poetic stories where it would be lovely to see a player who was once, you know, I wouldn't say necessarily a fan favourite. Let me know if you're a massive Oscar fan in the comments below. I personally really liked Oscar. I think he was a well-liked player at Chelsea, but I think that the way that his career went, a club like Chelsea, particularly with the way that we've been recruiting players over the past few years, we don't tend to go for older players. And I think this one is more just, as the quote says, a dream of Oscar himself, as opposed to something that we might tangibly see in the future. The only way I could see this one happening is if, you know, the Chinese club that are selling him actually want to sell him at a cutthroat price, and then Chelsea come in and be like, you know what? Just come back to Chelsea. You're not going to be a first team starter every week, but we know what you think about this club. The fans love you. I just don't see it happening. I don't think Chelsea operate business this way. So therefore, as much as I love Oscar personally, I'll whack the picture up on the screen of the two of us, I don't think that one is going to happen. But we move into Mr. Erling Haaland. There were some reports that came out last week that I didn't really touch upon here on GBFC, that there were some quotes that weren't really quotes from Erling Haaland saying he doesn't want to go to Chelsea, he doesn't consider him a big enough club. I've never really seen this validated, so for that reason, as the driver of the Haaland propaganda train, I'm not going to address that as truth for any minute or any second at all. So for that reason, the update that I'm going to report for you guys today is that senior figures at Chelsea believe they can tempt Erling Haaland to join them this summer. They feel there are several elements in their favour, including an attractive financial package. We know that Mino Raiola's not going to mess around. Haaland's going to be on big wages. Erling Haaland's going to want big wages. The prospect of him becoming the centrepiece of a young, expensively assembled team. We do know that Chelsea will be interested in Erling Haaland if he is in fact available this summer. I also think it is absolute nonsense that Erling Haaland will have already ruled Chelsea out of the reckoning to sign him. The thing is, Erling Haaland's in a position where he has an agent who is renowned for making comments out of turn. He also has an agent that in the past hasn't necessarily been on the best terms when it comes to dealing with business directly with Chelsea Football Club. However, I think that is going to change. At the same time, Erling Haaland is very much in a situation where virtually all of the top clubs in Europe are going to want to sign him. So therefore, as the player, he's going to have the choice really as to where he goes, considering that Dortmund, of course, are going to demand a lot of money for him. But I think despite the financial situation of a lot of European clubs, a lot of clubs will be willing to break the bank to sign him this summer. So until Chelsea say that they're not interested, or until we make a bid and it is rejected, or Haaland says directly, I don't want to go to Chelsea, until we hear that from the horse's mouth, which I don't believe we have yet, I would not rule that one out. I still firmly believe that Chelsea will sign Erling Haaland this summer. Let's keep the propaganda train rolling. I absolutely bloody love it. And the final story that we're going to talk of today comes from Italy, and it is Chelsea's interest in AC Milan goalkeeper Donnarumma. Now, the thing with this one is Mendy has kept 12 clean sheets in 22 Premier League games. There is still a question, though, as to whether or not he is that world-class goalkeeper that Chelsea will want in order to build this young team for the future that can go on and succeed at the top level for many years to come. Whoever the manager is, I don't think that is necessarily important at this point. However, I would love to know what you guys think about the signing of Donnarumma in the summer. Of course, I think whatever goalkeeper signing we have, and of course Donnarumma would be a free agent, the issue with it is he wants 10 million euros net per season, which is a lot of money, and I don't know if Chelsea are going to be willing to pay that after just signing Mendy, and unless they can obviously get rid of Kepa this summer, which, Tuchel said everyone's got a chance, but I do think Chelsea will be looking to sell Kepa this summer. But Donnarumma, on a free, I think he's a very good goalkeeper. I think at the moment, Mendy is doing a lot to suggest that he should stick as Chelsea's number one. 12 clean sheets in 22 games is no joke. That is an incredible stat for Mendy. But the thing is, I'm not sure if Chelsea see him as the long-term number one world-class goalkeeper that we can be confident to build this team in front of for many years to come. Donnarumma's a bit younger as well than Mendy, so maybe if it's a free signing, it could be a good one for Chelsea to go for. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Gonna wrap this news video up here. We've gone through a load of stories today. Thank you guys for watching. I want to say a massive thank you for all of the support on recent videos. I'm going to be working doubly as hard at the moment because I'm absolutely loving what we're doing here, loving the support from you lot, and I'm just loving football again, loving Chelsea. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you all tomorrow. Come on, you Blues.